Okay. Hello,
Okay.
Martin.
Hello.
Nice that we can meet even without meeting. It's possible now. That's really, a nice feature of the technical possibilities we have. You are starting in November, 1st of November, you're starting a new ATL 1. We're starting a new round of education. So as usual, as always, you are starting with your very special view on the 64 gates. Yeah. Starting in November in English, analyst training, then we will continue the other levels as well. But you are always the entry. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your special first level course? Because it's not the general and normal look at the gates, but it is your special look. So tell us a little bit about it, please.
Yeah, I would say it's an additional perspective. So now it's 30 years that I'm at Ra in private and get in touch with the human design system and just get educated with him. And we started because I worked as a classical homeopath. We started with charts of my clients. He said, okay, it's the best if you just have something you can apply it to. But when I look back 30 years, we had this, I call it this basic labeling. This is this, this is this, this is that. And it's one advantage, one of the many advantages of the human design system, that we can look at a special aspect in an isolated way, like in a vacuum, like in a testing tube. And this is something that helps us to understand, because understanding, this is about detail. So we can look at all of these detail, but every part is always something which is a synergy. And my perspective right from the beginning was something, okay, how does it belong to the physiology? Mm-hmm. Because we live in the body and it's about the vehicle. We always talk about it. Yeah, it's called human design system, not human personality system. So it's about the physical world. And so after 30 years of working with it, with clients, with one of my advantages to have the chance to listen to people, not only to tell, but to listen to them and to see. And then if something that just comes repeatedly over and over again, then to have the chance, for example, then someone else to ask you, I have an assumption because of this and this, how it is with you. And so I had the chance to prove it by experience in a specific sense. So it was something that provides me with a much greater perspective to everything. And life doesn't, or the energy of life isn't flowing, for example, in circuits. So it's always cross circuit. When we look at the single cell, we have the third gate and 515. So you have the switch. If you have other perspectives whatsoever. So within the circuit, there are all the gates which belong to a specific energy format. And that's the reason why. But they work in a different way. And this is something, it's very fascinating to me. And what I want to do is just to give the students a wider perspective. So in a specific sense that you can have a feeling and not only a mental understanding. Mm. And therefore to see, okay, how does it work? Even how do the centers are working? For example, we have 4 motors. So what's the differentiation of it? Mm-hmm. This, how to call this, we can call it motor, but it's a different kind of energy. How we can feel it, where does it function in our body, so that we can have we can relate it to something physically we are able to experience. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And not just to know, okay, this is the label for this gate and this center and this circuit and this and this and this. That's important. We start with this, but it's part of something physical. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what I call, it's not from me, it was someone after a seminar I did, I'm putting flesh to the bones.
That's one thing I really like, because that's a very nice picture. We have the
Yeah.
bones, the theory, and then
Yeah.
they need the life
Yeah.
to go with it.
And we need the understanding of the bones. You cannot if you want to understand in my education in natural medicine, we started with anatomy.
Of course. Yeah.
Everything, of course. And the bones are very fertile. So out of the marrow of the bones, there are 100,000 of cells every second, just newborn. And to see how this, what we call life, is working, and to see that thinking, for example, is not something that's isolated to the ajna. It describes the way of thinking, but thinking requires a little bit more. Even when we look at the entire brain, yeah, when we think about something, there's something included. Maybe we have feelings, we have this and this and that. So this is what was always fascinating me, how these things belong together. And I want to give a taste of, in a sense, the beauty of life, how it works. And also the voice said, the map is not the territory. And my perspective was coming from the territory. So the landscape there, everything. And I want to bring it together, just to connect it. And to be able to do this step by step, gate by gate, but to see, okay, how it belongs to physical sensations and this, that's even fascinating to me. And when I look back, maybe the last time I did this course, or the time before, I did it different. Because there's always something that goes, oh, that's also something, I haven't seen this before. So, and therefore, I can say after 30 years, year by year, I'm getting deeper into it. And yeah, therefore, to me, it's fascinating to do this course. I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah. Great. So basically, we are looking for, or this course is oriented at people who have finished the Living Your Design and ABC and Rave Cartography, so who want to continue and start the analyst training. But it is also oriented at people who already have done and taken a level 1, because it is not a repetition of, gate 1 means this, but it is really an additional view from a larger health-oriented or body-oriented perspective. So we are really addressing many more people than just people who want to start the education. It's a wonderful course for repeaters as well. And just a technical little information, if you have taken an ATL or a PTL training before, you only pay half price because you are repeating. So we do not ask the money all over again. That would not be fair. So this is really oriented at a wide range of people. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm going to be listening in again, as usual, a little bit, because it is, such
yes, I think even for someone who's repeating it, and you know everything about the bones, maybe even you don't know everything because you haven't heard about this part of the bone as well, being part of the bone as well. To me, and it's something it's connected to the quality of what we are doing. Not to say, okay, we've learned the labels, this and this and that, and then I don't need any more. But to integrate experience, to integrate something. So therefore, of course, it will give the students a deeper insight to themselves, how it's working. And what I experience all the time, that the people say, oh, now I understand. Now I see it different. Now I can combine it. I see the connection. I have a physical feeling to it, and all of this. To me, in terms of to enhance the quality, we have the task to more and more to see the whole picture. I remember when the first book was published, and Ra handed me the first book.
The black book.
the first book, Rafe, 1992, I think. And he said, that's a gift. And I said, okay, can you just write something into it for me? And he wrote in, first see the whole picture and then act, and you will be of great service. There was already something, okay, we have to see the great picture, and the service to the collective will be better. And I'm on the cross of service, and it's collective cross. So just to see, when I look back to 30 years, it's always getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it will be maybe in 2 years, I will have more insights. And I really love to share it. It has to be shared. And then to provide students and analysts with more capacity to look at things. And to me, it's not the destination, the analyst, because I think about the clients, I think about doing the readings, I think about helping people. And not just heading them labels on the forehead and that you are, this is it, you are not allowed, you have to, and all of that stuff. And
yeah, just the one sentence that describes everything.
Yeah, just to see that's the way it works, that the way how it belongs. So it could be in this direction, this direction. We live in the polarity world, and to see this and. What I want to do is to put more freedom in it, but always reconnected to the bones. I never lose the contact to the bones. That's the nothing about this.
This is very much in line with the changing time right now, because we are in this theme of planning in the first line. So it was all and started all with, you know, an incredible amount of detail, but we're moving towards a sixth line phase. So we're moving towards the overall picture. And, you know, without the basic, you cannot have the overall picture. And this is, you know, really what we try to do. Great,
and
thank you.
There's something else that changed, and it changed because the trainings I do online for people in Russia or in Bulgaria. So, and they always ask for, okay, please refer it to the chart of the participants. And this is something we started with, and doing this online. In the meantime, I love it because I don't have the contact to the people, but refer it to the chart of the students and to have a section with Q&A. So this is something that brings us back to the contact, and it's starting getting something vital, and
it's more interaction again.
Yeah. And this is something I want to integrate into this for the first time for their
level one.
Level one.
Yeah, it's always much more fun to see right away how this contacts me, or how this what this has to do with me, how this is related to what I am and what I have. So that's, you know, that's again an extra that will that I'm sure everybody will enjoy. Great, great, wonderful. Thank you. And that brings us automatically to another topic that we discussed that we should address, and this is the quality of education, the quality of what's going on with human design. Both you and I, we really, sometimes I'm quite shocked and appalled and disgusted with what is going on. There is online universities and master classes here and there, and you can take a weekend workshop in human design and turn out a master human design analyst. I mean, this is really, it is a betrayal of the clients. It is really harming and hurting and disgracing human design. I'm very, very angry, as you can see. And you know, we both are very old teachers, first generation. You know, you were a private student of Ra. I took all my courses with Ra. So we experienced the development, and we noticed and lived through, like you just described, the development. You cannot become a human design whatever in a weekend seminar. it starts in the weekend seminar, and then it, it will grow and take time. It takes years, literally years, before you can give out any really valuable information. I mean, you can start easy, type strategy is not so complicated. So even after a Living Your Design course, you can already start using it in your daily life. But to think that you really are a human design master analyst, that's just ridiculous. And I can only ask people to, think and use their intelligence. You cannot master such a vast body of knowledge in a couple of days or weeks. It really and literally takes years. And if you look at us and all the teachers, it took us years. In the beginning, I had no idea. I don't know how it was with you, Martin, but I'm sure you did not have the overall picture after a week or two, did you?
I would really like to apologize for the first readings I gave. So it was just, when I think about this, what we were telling, and this is what you can see in the internet as well. So this is that, this is right, this is wrong.
This is good, this is bad, yeah.
Yeah, there are two things. I also think about the people who are telling this, because they are using labels, they are limiting themselves. This is about setting people free, not to limiting them. And so they believe a single sentence, and that's the way it is. And so, and not to see, okay, how it is just within the context, how it's working, and being interested. So when I did from the basic, the entire education, I said to them, okay, if you know something about type, so just tell people something about the types as far as you know, but know your border. This is responsibility.
Yeah.
Because we're working, in a sense, we're working with the soul of people, with their life, with their happiness or not, and their beauty or not, or whatsoever. And then to say that sometimes it's a little bit the risk of the arrogance of the ego. I know something you don't know. I can tell you this and this and that. And so therefore, in a specific sense, to settle down, to have a foundation. So I always compare it with a tree. So many, they want to come with the helicopter and they just pick up all the fruits, and I know everything, but they have no idea about the tree, about the roots, and one more thing, the groundwater, who gives really the energy to the roots, to the tree, and in the end, just coming to the fruits. And this is the bones. And then, in a sense, we have the flesh. And so we know the only thing what we can do, and we will do and continue with, just to offer something with quality which derives out of decades of experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody who doesn't want to wait for decades to come to the same result, we offer the seminars to say, okay, we give you the result, we tell you the way where we go, how it works, where we come to it, and how everything belongs together. And so, therefore, as well, I hope that more people just take advantage of having access to the quality, to the experience, everything like this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I couldn't agree more. So this is also a call out to everybody. Please make sure you get quality education. Please be clear that this is a huge, a huge body of knowledge, a huge journey that you are starting, and it's not going to be finished tomorrow. It will take time. And the result is worth it. I mean, everybody who is really involved in human design can really speak about how it
improved their lives and how it changed and how much more fun my life is now. And I didn't have a bad life before, but it's, you know, it has definitely improved and grown, and I would never ever like to live without it. But it took a long time, and it takes a long time. So be clear that there is no human design masterclass any weekend. That simply does not work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the online course, the ATL one that Martin is offering now, this is not a huge long course, but it is level 1. It will need digestion, it will need applying it into your daily life, and then comes level 2 and level 3 and level 4, and again a lot of practice. So, you know, enjoy it and take your time. That's really I think the best advice that we can give, and make sure that your teachers and trainers are well-educated people and not some masterclass people from a weekend seminar. That really doesn't work.
Maybe just to give an example, because I will also talk about the 20 gates of fear. Mm-hmm. This is the 3 awareness centers, and I'm distinguishing between the different kinds of fears, and to see if you have the mental fear, which is not a fear, it's an anxiety, and it's a difference from fear. So we can just have a better look to ourselves, our life, because sometimes we call it a fear, but it's not. It's a negative projection into the future. And then to see how the brain is dealing with it, what's integrated with it, how it works. So this is something I put into this, into these gates, to see exactly how the anatomy of our mind is working, and what does it mean with the possibility of anxiety. The same, how is the anatomy of the emotional center. So this is not a fear, this is nervousness. And if you experience, oh, I'm nervous, you can say, I'm not, it's not fear, it's nervousness. My nervous system is telling me something. So therefore, to say something about the anatomy of the human emotionality, and what it means in terms of what we would call fear, but to see it's not fear. You don't have to fear it. You experience nervousness, and this is an information from your body. And then it's a question how you deal with it according to the gate, what it means. So maybe just in this way to give you a little bit an insight to my perspective, to see the map is not the territory. It's about the body.
Let me add one thing probably that may be unclear. The way we teach it, our analyst training, is a lot shorter than the so-called professional training, because especially and particularly in level 1, we clearly not talk about every single line. Nobody after the basic education is able and capable of going through all the lines. I think this is quite important. This has to grow. You have to have a stable and firm and clear understanding of gates and centers and channels and circuitry. And this takes years. This really takes a long time until this is clear. So to dive into the details of the lines at this level, I think this is just, I don't know, confusion. This is just, you know, mind stuff that you will not be able to use properly. Again, this takes many, many years. So we've had over 20 years of experience with teaching this in this way, teaching just the analyst training, producing analysts who are licensed to do foundation readings and not go into all the details, you know, do a transit analysis and the cross analysis and partnership analysis. This comes later. Start with the foundation, start with understanding a gate, start with understanding, you know, a first line is research and insight. That's enough to know of a first line, and don't dive into details that you, I promise, will not be able to understand and use. So that's another speciality that we've been doing for such a long time, very, very successfully. So,
but I always talk about a few lines because
of course.
many people don't like it. Yeah. Shaking hand with the devils, terminal
Mind you.
terminal disease, perversion,
Mhm.
fourth line, 50th gate. What's the corruption?
Corruption.
Yeah. So beautiful lines,
Mhm.
very beautiful lines. Just to see, okay, it's a matter of perspective. And
Mhm.
of course, if there is a question according to a specific line
Mhm.
in the seminar, we will talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but going through all the lines is just impossible, and it's yeah, it does not make sense. Okay, great. Well, Martin, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I will
Welcome.
put that online. We will see how it goes. We are already collecting participants, so this is going to be a fun course, an interesting course, and a wonderful new start of the analyst, of the upcoming and ongoing analyst training that we're doing.
Great. And if there's any question, don't hesitate to ask.
Exactly.
We
Thank
are
you.
available.
Bye-bye, everybody. See you
Ilse,
soon. And Martin, have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you.
thank you very much for your work.